Life's got its fist around your throat right now, doesn't it? You're down, maybe further down than you've ever been. The ground's cold, the air's heavy, and every breath feels like a fight. Maybe it's a job that vanished, a dream that shattered, a promise someone broke. Or maybe it's just you, staring at a version of yourself you don't even recognize anymore. You're asking, why me? Why now? How did it come to this? I see you, I hear you, and I'm telling you, this isn't the end. This is the forge. This is where your fight gets made. Welcome to Inspire Forge. Buckle up. We're about to turn that breaking point into your breaking through. Let's not sugarcoat it. Life breaks us all at some point. You know that moment. The phone call you didn't want. The door that slammed shut. The silence that screamed louder than words. For me, it was years ago. Lost everything in a blink. Business tanked. Friends scattered, and I was left with nothing but a pile of bills and a head full of what ifs. Maybe your breaking point looks different. Maybe it's a divorce that tore your world apart, a failure that keeps replaying, or a loss that hollowed you out. Whatever it is, it's real, it's raw, and it hurts like hell. You're not alone in this. Look around. Every person you admire, every hero you've ever had, they've been broken too. The difference? They didn't stay there. See, breaking isn't the problem. It's what you do with the pieces. Right now, you're sitting in the wreckage. You're feeling the weight, and that's okay. Feel it. Let it sink in. Because that pain, that's your raw material. That's the steel we're gonna forge. But here's where we start shifting gears. That question, why me? It's a trap. It keeps you spinning, stuck in the mud, replaying the fall. Flip it. Ask, what's this teaching me? What's this building in me? You're not just a punching bag for life's cheap shots. You're a fighter in the making. That hit didn't knock you out. It woke you up. You're still here. You're still breathing. That's proof enough you've got something left to give. So, let's take inventory. What's breaking you right now? Name it. Call it out. That's step one. Because you can't forge what you won't face. Now we're moving. You've faced it. Good. That's courage right there. But facing it isn't enough. You've got to step into the fire. See, a forge doesn't work without heat. Steel doesn't bend without flames. And you don't rise without burning through what's holding you down. That breaking point, it's your furnace. That pain, it's the fuel. You're not running from it. You're walking straight into it. Picture this. A blacksmith takes a lump of metal, rough, ugly, useless on its own. He throws it into the fire. It glows red and white hot. It's chaos in there, crackling, spitting, screaming under the heat. But that's not destruction. That's transformation. That's you right now. Life's turned up the flames, and yeah, it stings. It's uncomfortable. You're sweating, you're shaking, you're wondering if you'll make it through. You will. You're not melting, you're molding. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's a real person, someone I met years back. Lost her kid to illness, her marriage to grief, her hope to a bottle. She was broken, shattered into a million jagged pieces. But one day, she decided she'd had enough of the dark. She stepped into her fire, started small, quit drinking one day at a time. Then bigger, went back to school, fought for a job, fought for herself. She told me, "It hurt like hell, but that hurt was my hammer. I beat my past into something I could stand on." Today she's a counselor, pulling others out of their own fires. That's forging your fight. What's your fire? Maybe it's fear. You're scared to try again, scared to fail again. Maybe it's guilt. You're lugging around mistakes like a backpack full of bricks. Or maybe it's anger, at them, at you, at the world. Whatever it is, don't dodge it. Step in, let it burn. That fear, it's forging courage. That guilt, it's forging wisdom. That anger, it's forging power. Every second you stay in the heat, you're changing. You're not weak for feeling it. You're strong for facing it. So what's one piece of that fire you're stepping into today? Pick it. Hold it. Let's heat it up. Here's where it gets loud. You're in the fire. Now grab the hammer. This is your fight, and you don't win it by wishing. You win it by working. Every swing is a choice. Every strike is a stand. That lump of pain, that glowing mess of yesterday, it's yours to shape. Slam it down. Beat it into something fierce. Think about what's breaking you. That job loss. Hammer it. Turn it into hustle. That betrayal. Pound it. Make it fuel for loyalty to yourself. That failure. Smash it. Forge it into grit. You're not erasing the past. You're rewriting it. Every hit says, "I'm not done." Every spark says, "I'm still here." You're not a victim. You're a blacksmith, and this is your anvil. Let's go deeper. I remember a guy named Mike, ex-vet, lost his leg in combat, lost his purpose back home. He'd sit in his apartment, staring at walls, letting the silence break him. One day he picked up a hammer, literally, started building things, tables, chairs, anything. Each swing was a fight against the void. He told me, "I couldn't fix my leg, but I could fix me." Now he runs a workshop, teaches others to build through their pain. That's the hammer in action. You don't need a literal hammer. Yours might be a pen, a phone call, a step out the door. It's whatever says, "I'm taking this back." Maybe it's forgiving yourself for that one big screw-up. Swing. Maybe it's cutting off the people who keep pulling you down. Swing. Maybe it's just getting out of bed when you don't want to. Swing. It's not pretty. Your arms ache. The metal resists. But every hit shapes it. Every hit shapes you. And here's the secret. You don't have to see the end yet. You don't need the whole plan. Just swing. One strike at a time. One day at a time. You're forging your fight, and that's enough. What's your hammer today? What's one swing you can take right now? Feel that weight in your hands. Let's make it sing. Look at you now. That fire didn't burn you out. It tempered you. That hammer didn't crush you, it crafted you. You're rising, not because the fight's over, but because you forged something unbreakable. Life broke you, sure, but you didn't just survive it. You shaped it. You're not the same person who fell. You're tougher, sharper, forged in the heat of your own battle. This isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being unbendable. Storms will come again. Punches will land again. But you've got a blade now. A fight forged from your own hands. That loss, it's wisdom in your grip. That pain, it's power in your stance. You're not running from life. You're standing in it, ready for whatever's next. Think of Sarah again. Think of Mike. They rose because they fought, not because it was easy, because they chose it. You're choosing it too. Every swing you took, every flame you faced, it's built this moment. You're not perfect. You're progressing. You're not finished. You're forging. And that's the beauty of it. Your fight isn't a one and done. It's a fire you keep stoking, a hammer you keep swinging, a rise you keep claiming. So stand tall. Feel the weight lift. The storm's fading, the heat's cooling, and what's left is you. A fighter, forged from the wreckage. This is your victory, not because you won't fall again, but because you know how to rise. What's next for you? What's the first step you're taking with this forged fight? That's your power. That's your story. Own it. You forged your fight. Life tried to break you, but you rose stronger. This is Inspire Forge, where we turn cracks into steel, falls into fire. Hit that like if you're rising today. Subscribe for more fuel to your forge. And tell me in the comments, what's one swing you're taking to fight back? Let's keep forging together.